Good morning, guys. I'm back with my fit tips from the car. I've been pretty crazy busy lately and kind of been slacking on all my posts and videos and whatnot, and just have a lot of things going on in my personal life. And anyway, I'm still here trying to live a healthy life and stuff, so I just don't always get to post it when I have to choose between doing my personal meal preps and exercise and stuff, or posting. I choose myself for a while, but anyway, I'll try to get started back on this. I had a video guy that was great for a while there too, and he had to move suddenly, so back to the car video, so if y'all can bear with that, I'll try to talk about some things. But anyway, what I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while is a topic that is probably what I'm most passionate about and what I feel so strongly about, and that is it's going to be several videos because it's just a lot of information to talk about. But your metabolism, if your metabolism is damaged or adapted is actually the better word for it, but most people talk about it as it's damaged, and why is that, and why you can't lose weight even though you've been trying hard, and what you can do about that, and a reverse diet and things like that. So for the first part, I'm going to talk about the metabolism. And I've heard so many people say, like, oh, my metabolism's slow, or I need to boost my metabolism, or what can I do to boost it, or I just not losing weight, it's probably my metabolism. And the thing is that your metabolism is not necessarily a set thing. It can be changed. It can adapt. If people speak of metabolism damage, it's not really like damaged permanently, so I don't like that word as much. And I think a lot of people in the exercise and science community are moving towards the term adapted. And what that means is when you diet, which is equivalent to a caloric deficit, when you are purposefully putting yourself in a deficit of calories, which means you're eating less than you're burning, your metabolism you should theoretically lose weight. There are people who do that and they don't have a problem, and then there are people who say they do that and they're not really sure that they're doing that, and they're not losing weight, and they're not really tracking, and they think they're eating healthy or making good choices, but really their calories are over, and that's also what's happening. And then there are people I have personally seen, and I've experienced this myself, who have tracked their food down to the T, weighing everything, not cheating as they call it, and doing anything that is against the caloric deficit, and then nothing happens. And that is extremely frustrating. I remember doing this and trying different things and thinking, maybe I should eat paleo, maybe I should do keto, maybe low carbs the answer, maybe it's low fat, maybe it's high fat, maybe I should eat more fruits, maybe I should not eat fruits, maybe fruit's sugar, and maybe sugar's bad for you, maybe I shouldn't eat any sugar. And really, it all comes down to the fact that when I finally started realizing what macros were and counting and tracking all of my food, it took me a while to accept this, but I had been extremely under eating, which means I was in a caloric deficit for probably most of my adult life. I didn't always like intentionally be like, I'm gonna starve myself because I'm fat. This was like, well, I should probably eat a salad because I don't like the way I look, and I want to get a little bit slimmer or more toned, or I put on a little bit of extra weight in college, and I'm going to restrict myself, and then for a while, and then on the weekends I'll eat what I want because I restricted myself. And at that time, when I was doing that, I had no idea what macros were or whatever. And then I kind of went on a thing with Weight Watchers, and it helped me to realize what was in the food, and then I started calorie counting. But of course, like most of the women in America, you have been drilled into your head that you should eat 1,200 calories a day. 1,200 calories seems to be this magic number that someone somewhere that I want to stab made up for women, and it's super inaccurate and freaking annoying, actually. So my toddler, or no, they're not toddlers anymore, those 5, but my 5-year-old probably eats 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. So do you think that a grown adult who is working and walking around and taking care of kids should eat 1,200 calories a day? The answer to that is no. 1,200 is not a magic number. Now, if you weigh 87 pounds and you're 4'11" and you're trying to do, I don't know, a contest prep or something, maybe 1,200 calories is your number. But for the general population, 99% of people do not need to be eating 1,200 calories a day to lose weight. You just don't have to do that. That's less than your basic metabolic rate, basal metabolic rate, sorry. Your basal metabolic rate is also known as the BMR, is the amount of calories that your body burns just staying alive, basically in a coma. I recently got mine tested and it was over 1,800 calories. Now, I am very active and do have some muscle, so that makes a difference, but probably most people around, you know, adult women, maybe their BMR is 1,200, but what about the other things you do the rest of the day? That adds calories being burned as well. So eating 1,200 calories a day is not the answer. But anyway, I did that and I tracked my calories for years, on and off, trying all kinds of things. I did every kind of diet you can imagine. It worked for a little while, then it stopped working, and then I decided running was the answer. I needed to just run. Worked for a little while and then it stopped, and so I ran more and did more cardio, ran a half marathon, and I did it and I didn't do too bad. And I remember thinking like, wow, I'm running for like hours and I really don't look any different than what I did. What was happening was, on top of my 1,200 calories a day, I was burning another 600 from running, plus all of my daily activities, and I was severely under eating. So what happens when you live in a state like that of severely under eating, under fueling your body, is metabolic adaptation. Your body is built to survive, especially females. Your body is built to reproduce. It has basically one goal. If you get very primal about it, everything pretty much comes down to that in the female body. Your body wants to be able to reproduce, so it will shut down whatever processes in your body that it has to save calories. Some things that happen, you can Google it for like a more complete list, but there's something called the thermogenic effect of food. When you eat, it actually, takes calories to process that food, so those things slow down. Your digestion slows down. There's something called NEAT activity. It's non-exercise activity. People like tapping their thumb, just swinging their arms, just feeling the need to move around. That decreases when you decrease your calories over time. There's hormones that happen. Your cortisol raises, which triggers, tells your body, that you're stressed, and that causes water retention and it wants to hold on to fat. There's hormones leptin and ghrelin, I forget how you say that, I think it's ghrelin, that dictates, like, it senses if your body is full or hungry depending on the fat cells, how full they are, and it tells you if you're hungry or not hungry. And also at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged thing. It tells your body not to lose fat, because even though you may have tons of fat cells, if you're in an underfed state and that hormone gets triggered, it tells your body, like, okay, I'm not going to use the little bit of calories I have to do the fat burning process. It takes calories to actually burn the fat off in the first place. So and there's some other processes like that I'm not remembering right now, but it's a bunch of things that happen to your body over time. And then you go through those periods where you're in a deficit and you're dieting, and that happens. And then you may experience a plateau, so you'll try all these things, but most people just give up, because a lot of people are working really hard. They're exercising, they're trying to make healthier choices, they don't really know the best choices, and they're just not seeing a lot of results. And I was there, and I was so frustrated because I worked out a lot. I've always been into lifting weights. The cardio was kind of come and go. I tried that for a while, being a runner and stuff, but it's very frustrating because you see other people and you see how they look, and there may be like a certain look you're going after, and maybe you're going after a number on the scale, which I don't recommend, but anyway, maybe that's your goal. and you're just not getting there, and you're working hard, and you're like, why is this not working? And it's just you've done this so long that your metabolism is basically just beat to the ground. And so most people in the bodybuilding world that I like, people do what they call a lot of cut downs and maintenance and bulks, and kind of spend periods basically in fat loss focused goals, and then periods in building goals. But even if you're not a bodybuilder, there are a lot of other programs and plans out there that I've seen that people do what they call fat loss cycles. And that's the reason that they do that, is some people don't know all the reasons why or all the answers, but they do know that even mentally, and then these physiological changes can better be negated by doing the fat loss only in cycles. So they'll do, like, say 8 weeks or 12 weeks of a diet, and then they'll take what they call a diet break, and they'll eat at just their maintenance level. And your maintenance level is just the amount of calories that you burn every day. So it would be your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, plus whatever you do for activity, work, or whatever throughout the day. They'll eat at that for a while, just kind of let their body have a break, basically. Let those hormones and things stabilize and come back to normal, and then they'll start another fat loss cycle. I personally think that's the best way that anyone can lose weight, because there's only so long that you can go, and everybody is different. Some people can do it for a year and have continual progress, and some people can't. Like, their metabolism and rate has already gone down so low that they would have to basically eat nothing, and that's really not healthy, and it's not sustainable. So that's where the problem comes in with the yo-yo dieting. Like, I've seen people that had severe willpower just eating 800 calories a day for a whole year, and they did continue to lose weight, but over time they got miserable, and lots of unhealthy signs started popping up, like irregular periods, irregular hormones, hair loss, nail loss, severe sleepiness, and just no recovery from working out and training. And that's your body's way of telling you that you're overdoing it and you need to take a break. It needs to be fed. And there's some studies, I could try to Google it and find the link if anybody wants it, but there's some studies that have shown that people that diet in these periods or cycles actually have longer sustainable weight loss that they keep off, like 8 weeks on, 5 weeks off, 8 weeks on, 5 weeks off. They're not gaining back all of the weight that they lost from this severe deprivation, because once you deprive yourself for so long, your body's natural tendencies to live take over. And there are people that get uncontrollable hunger, and that's having to do with those hormones, leptin and ghrelin, and it will take over your mind. And at some point it does become more than just a mindset. Like, it's a biological need to feed yourself, and they really can't stop, and they'll just eat and eat and eat until they gain all the weight back, and then they're sad again, and then they start the whole process over. So metabolic adaptation is real, and I do believe you if you say you've been trying and it's not happening. Now, I don't believe every person that tells me that, because I see a lot of inconsistencies. There's people, if you don't know what you're eating, then I'm not going to believe you as much at first. You have to see what exactly are you doing, and what exactly are you eating, and what is your activity level. Are you being consistent? Are you doing good for 3 days, and then a couple of days you're not, and then you get back on it, and then in your mind you've been doing everything you can, but really those couple of days of inconsistency can make a huge difference. But I'm not saying everyone's doing that or lying or being inconsistent, but there are a lot of people that do, and they just need a little bit of help or education in the matter, get a little bit better handling on being consistent and sticking to it. But there are a lot of people out there who are in the situation I was in. I wasn't morbidly obese or even obese by any terms, but I was skinny fat and bigger than, fatter, had more fat than I wanted, and I worked out a ton. And that's what was frustrating to me, because I wanted to look like I worked out a ton for the amount of work I was putting in. And I thought originally that you just had to be hungrier and starve yourself more and work out more. And I just want to tell you that that's not the case. Now, fixing this problem is also a huge deal. And most people, this is sad, but most people I've seen are better at starving themselves than they are at taking a slow and healthy approach to weight loss or fat loss and committing to that over time. Like, they spend years and years of dieting on and off, but then they have a hard time spending 6 months of just focusing on eating well, eating regular, and being consistent in your exercise or activity, whatever you may choose to do for that. And they have a hard time with that because they're not seeing those immediate results of starve yourself, the scale goes down, starve yourself, your pants fit better. And these things, these healthy changes take time, and it takes time for your body to realize it's being fed, and it's going to be fed regularly, and it's going to be fed mostly wholesome and nutritious foods. Now, eating salad every day is also not the answer. You can watch that whole video about macros that I talked about. Macros help you to see what exactly your body needs each day, how much protein, how much carbs, how much fats, etc. You don't necessarily have to eat only broccoli and chicken, and that's not sustainable. That would also fall into the category of, extreme dieting. You don't have to live like that, so restricted. It's better to eat a little more variety and maybe a couple of splurges each day that you calculate, and lose weight slower over time and keep it off, than it is to just say, I'm going to eat chicken and salad and broccoli and green beans every single day, lose 30 pounds until I can't take it anymore, and then I'm just going to give up. So overall, I just really want people to know that if you've been struggling in that scenario, it's not all your fault. You may be trying hard and wondering why it's not working, and this could definitely be the issue with you. Or the issue could also be consistency, which I've been there too with that. But when I realized that I was in this situation and I started to change it, I did something called a reverse diet, and I'll talk about that in another video. But basically, you push your metabolism and body to the other end by slowly increasing your calories and feeding yourself good, wholesome foods on a regular basis, and not really worrying about the scale, and eating well and seeing how you feel, and letting your body get used to that over time. You wouldn't want to go from eating 1,200 calories to 2,000 in a week, because that will make you gain weight, obviously. But over time, you can definitely do that. I got to where I could eat 2,800 calories a day and I wasn't gaining any weight. So it takes patience, and it's a process of getting yourself healthier. Once I did that, then the next time I wanted to do a fat loss cycle and I dropped my calories down and I dropped them to 2,000, it just came off like magic. I mean, it was amazing. And that's when I knew that I had fixed my metabolism. It took me almost a whole year. I did that for a whole year, just sucked it up, didn't worry about fat loss. I worried about being healthy, eating regularly, feeding my body, and working out. And I got stronger and stronger, and I recovered better, and I got less sleepy, and I actually saw a lot of really good changes in my body, shape-wise, physique-wise. And then once I did that next fat loss cycle, it was unbelievable. The changes I had made compared to when I was trying to do like keto or keto paleo and eating like 1,000 calories a day. I didn't even look that great. So anyway, there is hope, and we'll talk about how you can do that next. Just, you have to get your mind in the right place to do something like this. Get those ideas out of your head that you're punishing yourself and you have to starve yourself, or if you eat something that you shouldn't, you have to go work it off to get down to a certain calorie range, because that's not the answer. That's not going to be sustainable. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your mind. And what you want is a healthy lifestyle that you can have for a long time. That's what's the most important thing. If you have to starve yourself to look really good, then what's the point? You look really good on the outside, but you're going to be sick. So anyway, this is something I feel really strongly about, and I really want to help as many people as I can with this. It seems to be mostly women, but there have been a couple of men and guys I knew that, you know, maybe they were chubby or something and they really wanted to not be the chubby kid anymore, and they're trying to lose weight, so they somehow got into this cycle of, you know, starving their self or under eating to, you know, or not eating carbs or stuff like that. But in general, guys really kind of take pride in getting big and bulky and seeing how much they can eat. So it's not usually them, it's usually the women. And I've been there, so I understand. But anyway, it's getting really long videos, so I'll talk more about reverse dieting next time. If you have any questions, you can send me a message on my blog or under the video or on Facebook. I'd love to help you out, and I can help you to feel better, I hope. Anyways, hope everyone has a great day. I'm headed to the gym. I see my friend that's here from out of town, so I'm super excited about that. And maybe I'll take some videos of our workout day. So anyways, I hope everyone has a great day.